Back in May 23rd, 2023, I published the following video titled Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 should not be $70. That was after Warner Brothers itself announced on May 18th, 2023 that Mortal Kombat 1 Standard Edition will be available physically and digitally for $70 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch, as well as PC. And then the premium edition will be $109.99 or $110 for consoles, PC, and Nintendo Switch. That kind of price parity made no sense to me, given that the Nintendo Switch version was clearly going to be inferior on numerous fronts, especially where visuals are concerned. Many will recall what happened with Mortal Kombat 11 when that was ported over to the Nintendo Switch, which finally brings us to the launch of Mortal Kombat 1, which came out on September 14th, 2023. Generally favorable reviews from critics. This right here is the PlayStation 5 version, which has got a Metascore of 85 from 27 critic reviews, and if we look at the Xbox Series reviews from 9 critic reviews, we've got a Metascore of 88. So in the high 80s, which is, pretty good. Now, there aren't many reviews of Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch, but there is one right here from news outlet Nintendo Life, which obviously focuses on Nintendo-released titles, which obviously focuses on games released on Nintendo platforms. And you can see right here, they gave it a 40 out of 100. Right here, we have the review itself, where we have the pros and cons. The pros include a single-player story and towers that are playable if you can deal with all the issues. Technically playable is not the highest form of compliment if you ask me. And then finally, Invasions is a lot of fun when it's working. And then for cons, long load times and slow, unresponsive menu traversal, stutters and glitches affecting cutscenes, frame rate issues and input problems, missing content at launch, and game-breaking bugs in Invasions. Online hasn't managed to serve up a match yet. So that's quite the extensive list of drawbacks. And in the review itself, it is highlighted that the graphics certainly don't hold up to the PlayStation and Xbox counterparts. The way it's described by Nintendo Life is that Mortal Kombat 1 attempts to do what Mortal Kombat 11 did on Switch, basically turning all of the lovely visuals down to their very lowest settings to achieve 60 frames per second. But even then, it's not really a stable 60 frames per second. It still can't provide anything approaching a smooth experience as things stand at launch. The graphics of the Switch version of the game are so downgraded that it's being made fun of, and for good reason. What you're seeing right here is among the less egregious examples, and you can already see right here that, the downgrade makes this look like a late PS2 game or an early Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 game at best. But then we start to look at the videos and screenshots and comparisons that people have put out on the internet, and things start to look even uglier. This screenshot right here from this IGN post is Exhibit A. It is a prime example of what I'm talking about. The internet is roasting the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1's downgraded visuals, and for good reason. News outlet IGN has compiled a bunch of social media posts. Eurogamer itself has come out with a tweet that reads, $70 Mortal Kombat 1 Switch version is called robbery as graphical comparisons flood the internet. It is actually absurd that such a significantly downgraded version of a game would be priced at $70 when the whole argument that publishers make is, oh, well, it's all about, how $70 offers more value because we got next generation technology, and also games are so expensive to make. The downgrades especially show when you see the game in motion on Switch and put it side by side to, say, the PlayStation 5 version. Here's a clip of Johnny Cage's animation that shows a complete lack of facial animation. You can see right here his eyes are just staring into your soul and completely dead, like an NPC from the launch days of Mass Effect Andromeda. Facial animation has been completely botched in the Switch version, alongside things like textures, lighting, the polygon count, you name it. But the facial expressions in particular are hilariously hideous to behold. This tweet right here reads, after Mortal Kombat 11, Nintendo Switch not being able to handle Mortal Kombat 1 was fully expected, but something about the game costing the same as other platforms, $70, doesn't feel right, and I 100% agree with this. It's something that I knew would happen back when I released this video on May 23rd, 2023, when it was announced that the Switch version of the game would be $70. I very clearly said I do not believe it should be $70, and it looks like this video has aged rather well. And all of the mockery surrounding the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 is gaining enough traction that we're seeing tweets like these gain over 62,000 likes, almost 63,000 likes, 4.4 million views, saying things like, found out Mortal Kombat 1 came out on the Switch with a side effect of facial expressions not being a thing. Like literally non-existent. Right here you can see Johnny Cage's face of, disgust or something. this right here is just a blank stare into oblivion. Again, very Mass Effect Andromeda levels of uncanny.
Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything.
Some people went as far as calling the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 downright disrespectful, and this tweet right here has garnered over 92,000 likes and 9.4 million views. This stuff's going viral. The game looks especially awful when you blow it up on a TV, and you can see right here what the game looks like during gameplay. Check this out. I mean, this looks undeniably hideous. This straight up does look like PS2 era levels of bad. Let me actually maximize this. Good lord. Good lord. Oh, jeez. I mean, dare I say that there are hints of PS1 levels of graphics here with how the face just looks like just so deadpan and like it's a texture placed on the face rather than an actual face that's animated in any way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's just the video quality that's making it look even worse than it is, but this right here looks downright awful. Here we have Twitter user Zay saying, "What the hell?" And zooming into the image, yeah, you can see how blurry everything looks and how lacking in detail everything is. Then we have Twitter user Sam here who tweeted, "What on earth is happening with the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1?" And looking at close-ups of these screenshots, there we have the classic Johnny Cage deadpan Mass Effect Andromeda facial expression. Then we have I mean, this almost looks like a prototype version of the game. The eyebrows are even non-existent because they've been blurred out so much by how much the graphics have been lowered in their settings. The hair just looks visually very strange and janky. And looking at the arms right here, you can see just how polygonal everything looks. This screenshot looks like what you'd see right before texture popping happens, except the textures in this case never load in. Same goes for this screenshot right here where you can get a close-up of another character model and their complete lack of facial expression, just the complete dead eyes here that make for a hilariously uncomfortable sight. And in some cases, graphics and visuals are so screwed up that you get bugs like these where apparels like masks phase through characters' faces, on top of just how bad the details of the environments look. And there's just so much wrong about the way the character model looks. The hair, for example, looks like it was drawn with crayon. It reminds me of that Last of Us Part 1 PC visual bug that went viral. It almost feels like Mortal Kombat 1 took cues from that in its visual degradation. And then we have content creator John Nebo here, who just straight up posted footage that highlights not only the downgraded visuals, but also the performance issues that the game suffers from. Alongside this, he tweeted, "There's a lot of discourse going around about Mortal Kombat 1 on Nintendo Switch. I've been sharing gameplay to hopefully steer people away from buying it at $70. If you don't believe what you see, buy it. Just don't be upset when you realize how bad it is. I tried to warn you." And yeah, you can see for yourself.
There are quite a few people that think that the footage that I've been showing from Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch is not real, that I doctored it in some sort of way, because it can't possibly look that bad. But I wouldn't even know how to go about doctoring footage. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it that this is direct capture from my Nintendo Switch. However, it did.
You can see so many micro stutters.
Might be something wrong with my Nintendo Switch, so I downloaded it on another Nintendo Switch. I even used a different dock. To no surprise to me, it was the same experience. The fact of the matter is, Mortal Kombat 1 looks terrible on the Nintendo Switch. And a lot of people also say, hey, it's the Nintendo Switch, so what were you expecting? Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be as good of an experience as the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions, but they're charging the same amount. It is $70 on Nintendo Switch, just like Xbox Series X and PS5. That's why it's so frustrating. If you want it on the Nintendo Switch, I highly recommend you wait for a sale.
Like, yes, it is a portable version of Mortal Kombat 1, but the visuals are severely compromised enough where that trade-off just isn't worth it. And on top of that, they're charging $70 frickin' dollars. They're treating the Switch version like it's close enough to the PS5 and Xbox Series versions, but it comes nowhere close. And already people are memeing this whole situation, with many expecting Omni-Man in Mortal Kombat 1 to look like this on PlayStation 5 and like this on the Nintendo Switch. Here we have somebody making this comparison when it comes to the Johnny Cage side by side which is, not gonna lie, pretty hilarious. That's actually pretty on point. And then here's another comparison of character models. Just look at how much more fidelity there is on the PlayStation and Xbox version, how much gets lost in the Switch version. I don't disagree with this individual when he says both of these are $70. Hell no. If I was playing Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, I'd ask for a refund in a heartbeat. I mean, some of this stuff, like this screenshot right here, zooming into it, I mean, need I say more? This makes Mass Effect Andromeda's launch state look like the Matrix Unreal Engine 5 demo. The Switch version was never going to look better than the PlayStation and Xbox Series versions, but we have seen other ports like Witcher 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 and Doom, where it feels like they at least tried. With Mortal Kombat 1, it just feels like they took the settings and they just cranked everything all the way down and said ship it without much in the way of optimizations, any attempts to try to smooth things out, at least give characters some form of facial animation. I have little doubt that if they actually tried or just had more time to refine the Switch version, they could have absolutely done better than this. But they ultimately chose not to. And then on top of that, they chose to charge full price, $70 for this. This is, that is the insult. That is the middle finger to all of this. The price point. The audacity of this. So yeah, I mean, when the game looks as bad as it does, and when they kind of disrespect the customers and consumers by charging them full price for something that certainly does not hold up to that price point, yeah, I mean, this kind of mockery is bound to happen. This is not unexpected. Or at the very least, that's one man's take on this whole situation. It sucks to say that I was right, but, you know, this was about what I predicted for the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1. Huge red flags when I saw the $70 price point for the Switch version. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on all of this, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.